Ladies and gentlemen, another topic of contention has hit the rift. Should mages be bought? Honestly, yes. I think mages bought are completely fine. In fact, I think they're healthy because they're a counterpick. They add variety to a lane. Historically, League has always had unorthodox counterpicks as well. Azir or Corki mid, pick Tristana. Nar top, pick Yasuo. Even Ziggs bot has existed and dominated for years, thanks to his natural strengths and lending him to be viable bot lane. That's healthy. That's drafting. These are healthy reasons why a mage can and should be bought. But what isn't healthy is why mages are bot right now. The problem isn't they can go bot. The problem is why are they going bot? Right now, they're not just counter picks. Just like range top, they're able to abuse the role in its entirety. You like that switch up? Allow me to read off the compounding issues for why this shit is such a nightmare right now for ADCs. Let's see if Rat can comprehend what I'm about to drop, because right now I think it's a systematic failure of a season. But that's the point of the season, it seems, since Riot deems it to be no issue. Let's get into it. Number 1. Mage items are cheap. I swear to God, bro, this has something to do with us still paying the taxes for mythic items. Look at the price of Ludens just before mythics, courtesy of LS. Now, Ludens as a mythic. And then suddenly it's the same fucking stat line, but for 500G less? Where'd the 500 go? Isn't it supposed to be 3,200? What the fuck happened? To be honest, I have this theory that Demacia season is supposed to introduce the biggest stat checking issue of all time into League. It feels more important to hit an item spike now than to actually outperform the opponent sometimes in lane. Like the item literally matters more than arguably skill, just because of how strong they are. Maybe this is just me though. Anyways, on the topic of item spikes are stronger for mages. It's no surprise, but everyone should know by now that ADCs are dependent on multiple crit items. There's basically no ADC item that has both good attack speed, crit, and AD. As per ADC, you are forced to buy crit items, which obviously cost a lot, and you only come online around 3 to 4 items. Mages, however, do not suffer any of those issues. I know everyone keeps saying ADC is weak, pretty par for ADC players, but it's not ADCs who are weak, it's the opposite. Mages are strong. They're just so much stronger at being bot laners right now. Currently, Ludens is like a one-stop shop powerhouse of an item. For some reason, it's also cheap as hell. Mages are like Vayne right now. Basically, they ignore the entire role, their own weaknesses, and steamroll the natural laners. Mages will out-wave clear, out-pressure, out-poke, and out-tempo the entire role. I'll do a quick mention of it here as well, but I'm also a dude who has always preached that mana should have never become this abundantly easy. Ever since the introduction of Lost Chapter, Mana Flow Band, and various other mana opportunities, it has become harder and harder to punish mages. I'm a mid laner. It gets incredibly boring when all you do nowadays is just perma-shove. At a certain point, you can literally just never interact with your lane opponent. Which brings me to my next topic. More objectives have been added to the game. With every single season and patch, the game gets ever so increasingly faster. Due to the way the game has changed throughout time, lane prile and tempo have become more important. We have grubs now, herald, people skirmish early a lot more, supports roam all the time now. If all these things are being contested sub 3 items, then it's no wonder Mage's bot are going to be strong, compounding the issue of why Mage's bot can be there. They're more self-sufficient than an ADC alone as well. But that's not all. Ranged supports have been nerfed. League is a game of chess. Luckily, we have rock, paper, scissors also thrown into the chess. Unfortunately, however, paper just got nerfed, and now rock gets to run rampant. With most of the enchanters nerfed, it gets harder to answer the mage issue. The natural ecosystem of answers is knocked out. So what can you do? Well, realistically, unless Riot does something, nothing. Which is why it's such an incredibly big systematic issue. Wait, what's going on? Zillion? My son, we are going back in time. We must save the timeline. Why, grandfather? Riot is making some sort of female champion that has the potential to reflect projectiles back at the caster. Unfortunately, they're planning on making her some bitch-ass generic mage. My son, we are going to prevent this timeline by creating a unique support, since we haven't had one since Pike, or a support release in 3 fucking years. Say less, Grandpa. I've always thought they should have made Zolani for a real Darkin. Fuck that dumbass dog and that new guy who's literally just aura farm and hype moments. I needed to whip these mages back to mid lane so I can beat their asses. Or maybe they should have made some other ADC that has any sort of real sauce to them instead of Yunara. If it wasn't for her abs and traditionally being a hot woman character, she really has nothing going for her. Maybe if ADCs had some blindable or counterpick option against Mage's bot. Sorry for rambling about the lack of unique champions again. Anyways, basically the ecosystem is disrupted right now, and it's ripe to harbor mages bot. But another challenger approaches if this is the future Riot wants to draw for bot lane. Like moving an entire country of champions into the jungle, multi-role balancing is nigh impossible. You corner yourself in balancing by fitting champions into more roles than they're supposed to be in. How would you balance anything without stepping on the toes of another identity you're making for said champion? It's only going to get harder the further you expand. It's basically inevitable that something is going to break down in some category, whether it be weak or strong. Whatever, I guess. Lastly, remember, Riot dictates everything. Keep in mind, I know a lot of people are going to ask or point out, well, if this is such a problem and people are throwing out ideas or solutions, how come Riot just doesn't solve it? Or why did they let this go on for so long? Well, young Timmy. I hate to say it, but let me show you why. We call this the problem factory. They decide everything. Who gets to be the problem, what gets to be the problem, and how long all of that lasts. It's just how it is. Because that's why metas exist. They enforce the problem. It's not until X moment passes, could be a season, could be a tournament, could be them deciding they don't really want to play with X toy anymore. Then all of it goes away. But I digress. Do you agree with Riot? Is the problem really placebo even if the pick rates are rising? Is Zillion ever going to save our timeline from Mel and Ambessa? Who knows? Regardless, I'd love to hear what you think. Shoot a comment with whatever you want to say. I will see it. Do me a favor too and like and subscribe. I need more clout because Tenshi did not give a single fuck about who I was. I'm just playing. Tenshi, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Plus, they're even on the Briar Feet guy. Ho ho shh.